Hey guys, welcome back to another Tech Debt Repair video. In today's episode, we're going to be working on this 15.6 inch MSI GE66 Raider. This is going to be the model 12UG8. This was mailed into us for an LCD replacement, which we have just off camera here. So let's go ahead and get into this repair. So we're going to start by removing all of the Phillips head screws along the perimeter that hold the top case to the assembly. This unit actually is already missing one screw. It may have fallen out, or this unit may have been previously worked on, not too sure. So the only screw that's going to be a different length is the centermost one. It's going to be about half as long as the other ones, as you can see here. So just make sure you don't put the wrong screw in that centermost point when you're reinstalling the bottom cover. Now we're just going to take a pry and separate the bottom case. And set that aside. And the very first thing we're going to do now that we're in the unit is just disconnect this battery here. And there we go. So now the unit's safe to work on, and we can go ahead and start working to get that LCD off. So the very first thing we're going to do is unplug some cables here. So we're going to start down here with the Wi-Fi antennas. And right above that, right above this Captain tape, is one of the cooling fans on the left side here. We're going to go ahead and unplug that one as well. And right in the center here, there's also another cooling fan that we're going to go ahead and unplug. And on the right hand side, there's an additional one. And then we're going to go ahead and flip this retention bracket up. And we'll leave the cable plugged in, but now it's free to be removed when we go ahead and pull the LCD out. Now we have everything unplugged that we need to, so we're going to go ahead and grab a Phillips head screwdriver and unscrew the two screws on either side that hold the CPU fan assemblies in. Looks like that one isn't one. It's going to be this one right here. And here. And then we're going to go ahead and peel back this tape here and take off the cover, the protective cover for the RAM, and set that aside. That just gives us two more access screws for this cooling assembly here that we do have to remove in order to actually service the LCD. You can unscrew these in any order, but there is an order to screw them back in. They are numbered, so you'll see 1 through, I believe, 5. Yes, 1 through 5. And these are captive, but I'm just going to take them all the way out just to be super certain that no screws are holding this on when I try to remove it. Alright, so now this is ready to come off. It's going to be stuck on there pretty well. Thermal paste and thermal pads. There we are. That's the heat sink removed. And you can see our LCD connector here, as well as one more cable here for the webcam microphone. I'm going to go ahead and unplug and pull those cables out. And they are taped down, so I'm just going to remove the tape that's holding them in. I'm going to use a pry on this side here. And now we're going to go back to our Phillips head screwdriver and remove the 6 in total, but 3 on either hinge location, pancake screws that hold the LCD to the top case. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and open up the unit in order to separate the top case from the LCD. And now we're going to pull the top case off and set this aside. And now we're ready to go ahead and pop off the beauty panels and swap this LCD out. Okay, so this bezel here is actually glued on, so the best thing to do is take a soft plastic pry, get under there and go all the way around to get the adhesive off, just like so. And just peel the bottom off once you break most of that adhesive free. and that is that bezel removed. So you can see here, here are the internal hinges if you need to replace those. But for us today, we're just going to be doing this LCD, which means we have to go ahead and unplug once we tilt it up. These cables at the bottom here that run to these, which go to the motherboard, and then plug in our new cables to our new LCD when we install it. Okay, so this LCD is glued in as well. So again, we're going to use that soft plastic pry to get under there. So we're going to use that pry to get under there and break that adhesive free. This LCD is not working, so we don't really have to worry about cracking it internally, but that's definitely something to keep in mind if your LCD is still working. So now we're going to tilt it up, and we have access to this taped on cover here for the cable that runs to the main board. Just going to go ahead and peel that tape off of this connector. All right, and that is the old LCD fully removed. We're just going to go ahead and clean up the adhesive here, lay some new strips down, and then we'll install our new LCD. So with all of our adhesive for our new LCD all ready to go, we just have to take this cable and plug it in. Close the clasp. Take the tape, make sure we stick it back down. Now we can go ahead and lay this display in place. And now we can go ahead and peel off the protective film. Take our bezel, and we're going to line it up based off of the top here, the bottom roughly where it needs to go, and line it up based off of the webcam here. And there we are. Now we're ready to put everything back together, starting of course with the logic board and this LCD here. All right, so now we're going to take our top case and line it up in here. And now we're just going to go ahead and close our hinges while holding them. Close it all the way. Make sure it lines up. There are two plastic kind of pegs or guides, I guess you could say, on either side. That will hold them in place if it's correctly aligned. The next thing we're going to do is make sure our cables for our webcam as well as our LCD come out where they need to. Everything looks good so far. I'm going to plug this one in before I lay it down. And we're just going to make sure this cable is fully seated before we close the retention bracket, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and clean off the thermal paste on both the heatsink as well as the CPU and GPU. All right, now we're going to go ahead and lay some new thermal paste on the components. All right, so now that we have new thermal paste applied, we're going to go ahead and screw in the LCD. And take our heatsink and lay it into place. Make sure these Wi-Fi cables go where they are supposed to go, and additionally I like to plug in these left-hand cooling fans before I proceed. It does make it easier. So there's one. Here's two. We're just going to make sure these Wi-Fi antenna cables come out where they need to without blocking anything. We're going to plug in our left cooling fan as well. Now we're going to take the screws for the heatsink that apply tension and start threading those. And now we're going to go ahead and plug in the Wi-Fi antennas. Just going to make sure we put that captain tape back over those. And now we're going to take the remaining screws and secure the CPU cooling fans. Place our RAM protective cover back over the RAM. Plug the battery back in. Place the bottom cover on. Snap it down. And I'm going to start with the small screw in the center and work my way outwards. Alright, let's go ahead and plug the unit in and make sure it turns on. Alright, so we've got our charger here. Let's go ahead and plug the unit in. Make sure the screen works, the battery's charging, and everything's detected. Oh, looks like the unit's actually already on. As you can see, the screen is working. There it is. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And with the help of the community, we'll be sure to assist you. If you saw any parts or tools you need in the video, specifically this LCD, check us out at techdev.com or click the links below for mail-in repair. We'll see you guys in the next episode.